I thought I'd take a little look at a bug, I suppose it is, in Menace. I'm not really sure if this is an issue that's just in the Amiga Format version or if this is in the version that got released as well. But it's something you wouldn't have noticed if you're actually watching the game, but if you're playing it, it's quite strange. So when I'm playing the game, and this has been like this since I started working on this, you can kind of fire and it's okay. Everything works. But if you start pressing the fire button really fast, let me just try it. It kind of stops firing completely. So the faster you press it, the less bullets you get. So if I press it really fast, like hammering it, it just does nothing. And if you actually play with an auto-fire joystick, like I'm pressing it here loads, and it's not doing anything. Yeah, if you play with an auto-fire joystick on a real Amiga, it doesn't fire at all. So I thought I'd have a quick look at this code and find out what it is. It's like ridiculous that I'm hammering the button and it's just not doing anything. Like you can see it there, it's like literally doing nothing and I'm hammering the button here. Right, so this is the, I went in and found the code. This is the code that tries to do the firing. So it's called check fire key. This is run every frame. So what it does, branch the subroutine to get the fire key. That just finds out if you are actually pressing the button at all. And if that comes back with something in there, I think in the actual Amiga it's a 0 in there to say you're firing, but they've actually reversed it. So if it's not equal to 0, you are pressing the fire button. If it does that, it goes into here and it tests the fire delay. So this is a thing that's supposed to wait a certain number of frames before you can fire each time to try and slow your firing down. And that's set to 3 at the moment. So you have to wait 3 frames or 3 ticks to fire. So it tests that. If it's not equal to 0, then it goes to the fire end. So that's if you can't fire. So it comes in here and then it moves the fire delay back into that value in memory. So the fire delay gets set back to 3. So if you try and fire and you can't, it sets the delay back to 3. So then the next frame comes along and if you try and fire again and you can't, it sets the fire delay back to 3. And I think that's what's happening. I don't really understand why it's doing it like this. And of course, if it does get down to 0, then it goes in here and it resets the fire delay back up to 3. And I think that fire key is actually testing what you can fire, like lasers and missiles. I think that's what that is. And then it goes in and actually creates the missile that it's going to make. So this is really odd. If you actually, I don't know if this is, it's really weird that this is even happening like this, but if you actually, so if you fire successfully, it sets the fire delay to 3, but if you don't fire, it sets the fire delay to 3. This must be ticking down somewhere, otherwise you'd never actually be able to fire at all, would you? Because it's only being set to the full value here. Let's just have a look for that. So that's testing it. Oh, there it is. Update missiles. So that's where it's actually, it's like ticking down. Whenever it updates the missiles, the fire delay goes down by 1. So why does it have to be set to 3 whether you fire or whether you don't fire? That doesn't seem to make any sense to me. Let's find it again. So yeah, test to see if you're pressing the button. If you are pressing it, then test to see if you're allowed to fire. And if you can't, then set the fire delay back to 3. And if you can, set the fire delay back to 3. So this doesn't seem to make any sense to me. It's like, so as you are, after you try and fire, whether you successfully do it or not, it is going to set it back to 3 frames. So if you press the button really fast within 3 frames, you'll never actually fire a bullet, and that's exactly what the autofire does. So it looks to me like if you wanted to actually fix this, you would actually, at the fire end, you would actually just do nothing. Is that right? Let's try that. I'm not sure why it works like this. Well, I can definitely fire now. well, I'm firing as fast as I can and I'm actually firing. So is that bit of code accidentally got in there? Was it always like this? Because this is actually playing how it's supposed to now. Right, let me just get out of this. I'm really going to have to put an escape out. So just to prove that that's working the way it should, let me go set this fire delay to something like 10 frames or something. You should be able to see that on the screen. Fire delay. There it is. So it's a 3 tick fire delay. Let's set it to like 10 frames. Just as a test. Let's try that. And you should see me firing consistently but slowly. There we go. So I'm getting a bullet every 10 ticks. So that's how it's supposed to work. So that's something we could put in as a power up. Like you can speed your ship up, but you could also start with like really slow firepower and then speed up your firing as well. Instead of just having it as a constant 3 ticks. But at the moment this game's broken if you try it with an auto fire. So that's super odd. Let's set that back to 3. And I suppose we just need to get rid of this piece of code here. Has this been duplicated by accident? I'm wondering if I've accidentally duplicated this in. And it just shouldn't be there. That's really weird. Let me just check the original source code that came from Amiga Format, and let's just see if that particular error is in there in that version. I think I've got the original versions somewhere. So this is Dave from the future, and I'm just editing this video, and I've just got WinUIE out, and well, it's actually a cracked copy of Menace, and I'm running it in WinUIE, and I've stepped in the debugger, and I've managed to find the bit of code that reads the joystick inputs, and yeah, it is exactly the same as it was in the Amiga Format code. I can see here, there's the move W, that's the 3 fire delay, moving it into the fire delay register. That's if you don't fire, and if you do fire, it skips down to this bottom line here and does exactly the same thing. So I don't understand how this code works, because I was just playing this in the cracked version, and although the collision detection doesn't work because I've got it set up as an Amiga 1200, it didn't seem to stop firing. So I don't quite understand why this code works in this shipped version, because in the version that I'm compiling, it does appear to be doing exactly what you'd expect it to do. So this is very odd code, but it is in the shipped version, and yeah, there it is. So on with the video, I suppose. No, it was like that. It's like that in the source code from Amiga Format. So I didn't accidentally create that bug. But I think that's actually what it's supposed to do here. So yeah, and weirdly now that RTS isn't actually required either. So we can get rid of that too. So I think that's what it's supposed to look like. That's not a bug that I accidentally created by duplicating a line somewhere, because sometimes this, you know, I'm pressing the wrong keys because I'm in this weird, like sometimes I'm in the emulator or whatever like I am now, and sometimes I'm not familiar with the key presses in DevPack compared to a modern IDE. But that is weird. That's just a little bug fix then. So let me just try that and make sure that's back to normal. Yeah, I don't know why it's like that. I wonder if the actual game is shipped like that. Does the actual game not work with an auto fire? Or maybe that was a bug that was in this and was fixed. But it just looks like a duplicated piece of code. Not quite sure I understand. Yeah, so I'm like hammering the button now. I don't have an auto fire on this. It's like an Xbox stick, but that's way better. So sometimes it will stop firing, but I think that's because it's run out of, it runs out of missiles. I think you're only allowed so many missiles. Oh, actually, is it still doing it there? Maybe that's me just not firing fast enough. If I get it on the real Amiga with an auto-fire joystick, I'd actually know. But that's definitely better, yeah. So what's that all about? I don't understand. Is that just a bug that's always been in the game? Is that a bug that's in the Amiga format code? Or am I misinterpreting what this is actually supposed to do? But I don't understand why firing would reset the amount of time that you need to fire if it couldn't do it. That doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, test the fire delay. If it's not equal to 0, it must be positive. So we just go to the end, we don't do anything. Otherwise, we set it back to the fire delay. And then we start firing missiles. So that's it, that's correct. And let's just, as a little test, let's just see if we can set the fire delay to, where is it? Where's fire delay? Fire delay. Let's just set it to 1. In fact, we can set it to 0 and it'll always fire, is that right? So you can just fire as quick as you can fire now. So let's try that. Oh yeah, that's really good. So if you were going to limit the number of bullets you could fire, you could do this. So you can fire as fast as you can if you want, but then it'll stop firing until there's only a certain number of bullets. But that's firing 3 times faster than the game would normally let you. But yeah, the game's basically broken. It was not firing bullets when it should, and it's always done that since I've started working on this. So yeah, with an auto fire, this would blat through bullets as quick as we could get. So yeah, that's just a little fix for Menace. I just thought I'd take a break from, I'm putting in some asset loading stuff, and I thought I'd take a break from that and just fix this bug because it's really annoying when I'm playing it. It's like I can't fire as fast as I'd like. So I'll just set that back to 3 and then I'll promote that to GitHub. So yeah, there you go, just a little fix for the firing that may be in the actual game.